And a very warm welcome to our glorious Glenorchy morning on our helicopter adventure in New Zealand's Southern Alps. Hooray! I'm excited about this in one of my favourite helicopters too. I don't know why I love the squirrel so much. We call it the squirrel generally in Australia and New Zealand. Why do I love the squirrel so much? The H125, the A-Star, the Ecureuil. Look at that nose. It's got such a good nose. A 1970s design, and I'm going to say they nailed it back then. Those good people at Aerospatiale. Later Airbus helicopters. You beautiful thing. Oh, look at those mountains. We're going up there. We're going up there very soon. I'm hoping what we're going to do on this stream is have our Alpine adventure flight. Enjoy going up into the mountains. We'll do some landings up there. Is that? Oh, I can't quite see if that's Mount Earnslaw or not that I'm looking at over there on the right. But we'll go up to the Earnslaw Burn, which is one of those famous Lord of the Rings sets, and a place where I have been on a helicopter scenic flight. So I'm enjoying to go and have another look up there in that beautiful part of the world. So that's looking good there. Yes, and I'm hoping that people will ask questions. We're in a very exciting time for helicopters right now and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We've got our Sim Update 1 public beta, which I'm running here right now. And that'll be going live, well, within a couple of weeks, we should think. And we'll be getting into Sim Update 2. I assume there's going to be a beta process for that. There's just a lot of rapid development going on with MSFS 2024 right now. Exciting times. Well, let's have a little look at this route here today. Why didn't I leave that in a scenic spot over here? That's nice. Good. Yes, so there we are facing to the north. We've got a gentle breeze coming from the northwest for this flight. And hello to the people who have already joined the stream. Feel free to get in that chat and let me know what you're thinking. Northland Air, hello to you. You've been a very generous correspondent on the comments sections in my videos. I thank you for that. When I saw the name Northland, I thought that might have been Northland, New Zealand, but you can choose to tell me which Northland you might be in or not. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot as to who or where you are. Well, we were in Southland, New Zealand, and, well, or is it Otago when we were up here at Lake Wakatipu? Someone might need to correct me on that. Yes, so gentle northwest wind coming in here. It's a very grey and bleak day in real life in New Zealand. I had a look at the rain radar before. Lots of rain coming in, not very nice. So I've just set a bit of gentle cloud here, moderate temperature. And if we want to make this a little bit more of a challenge, we might bring the cloud a bit lower on our flight. So yes, we'll have a look at the historic town of Glenorchy at the northern reach of Lake Wakatipu that I'm just circling there. And we will proceed past, this is Mount Alfred here, and we'll proceed up into the Earnslaw Burn, which is a spectacular little scenic area up here in a valley surrounded by waterfalls in real life. Not quite sure how MSFS 2024 is going to do justice to that here. This part is not custom scenery, so we'll have to see how that goes. We'll exit out, probably have to go out south through the valley again because it's a very steep climb over there. So we will probably go back out here. This is where the Route Burn track runs through here, and we'll fly over a bit of that. I've done a little bit of walking on the Route Burn track. We'll see if we can do a lakeside landing down here. That could be fun. I'm not have to go and see what it is looking like. I haven't practiced this flight. So we'll see what that looks like. Hello, Tiger Moth. You've been avoiding 2024 because its VR performance is rough. Your newfound interest in helis is bringing you back. And my tutorials are helping you get back into it too, Tiger Moth. That is so pleasing to hear. Look, I know 2024 has been controversial, and I know it has not been all things to all people, and I know that there's been some disappointments in VR. I don't use VR yet, so I haven't been spoiled by that particular bug that you people are enjoying. I know that it's not all it could be. There are more VR improvements coming in Sim Update 2, I believe, so we'll keep an eye on that. Look, I'm really, despite all these things, I'm really feeling that MSFS 2024 is really revolutionary on the VFR front, in the same way that 2020 was, actually. I think maybe it doesn't get enough credit. I mean, I know it's kind of old now, but I think the ground level simulation, I think what they achieved in 2020 and the evolutionary step that they've taken forward with 2024, I called it a revolution before, but hopefully you're getting the sense of what I'm talking about, is to make ground level flying really exciting, to add these details. I mean, I know we see these daisies that are fluttering around on the grass here just about everywhere, but on the other hand, it's just that little extra bit of detail to give you a sense of your progress over the ground, and I think that's really powerful. And it helps us develop our VFR flying skills and our low-level helicopter flying skills. So, look, I think MSFS 2024 is doing great things, and I'm really enjoying being part of it, and I'm really enjoying running these tutorials that I'm doing on the channel and having more people enjoy what we're doing there. So, Tiger Moth, thanks for that comment. Jace, hello to you. You prefer the R66. Why do you prefer the R66 over my favourite H125? I like the R66 too, FYI. But I just have a certain love for this helicopter here that I can't quite explain. It is actually it was the AS350, was the first helicopter I ever took a helicopter flight in. So that was special as well. I think it might just be about time to get into this cockpit and start talking about the rest of the... Oh, that's a bit more relaxing, isn't it, having that engine sound there. So, yes, where was I? We'll see if we can attempt a lakeside landing down here. Cross the Hollyford, which is running north-south here. Have a look at a glacier in here. This is a saddle. Now, I don't know quite how to pronounce it. Is it Don or Dun? New Zealanders, you might need to tell me. And we'll come into Milford Sound. And I think we'll definitely have a landing at Milford Sound airfield here, which will require us to lose altitude by flying into the sound to the north here and circling back in from the north and landing here. Now, it is generally advised to land, even if there's a tailwind, is to land that way on that runway there. So, we'll get it a little bit closer here. We're going to be getting into custom scenery down here, so that's going to be much nicer. Yes, is that it there? Cool, right. So, yes, so it's because of the escape routes and everything, it's generally considered better to land from this angle if you possibly can. Then we'll come on over Lake Ada over here. We'll climb up, have a look at Lake Quill, which is at the top of New Zealand's tallest waterfall, the Sutherland Falls, which go down to Quinton Lodge down the bottom there. So I think that will be a very nice scenic experience for us. And yes, Jace, you find the R66 easier on hover and takeoff. Okay. None of them are easy, are they? But you find the R66 easy. Yes. I find the R66 a lot lighter, obviously. And I find that I can sort of be slipping left and right a bit more easily in the R66. The H125 being a bit heavier, I get a bit more sense of its momentum. And I think I'm getting better at sort of floating it along and using the momentum of the H125 to my advantage as a sim pilot. So that one's working nicely for me. Tiger moth here landing. Let's not go there. Indeed. Right, let's just get a little bit more fuel on board here. I think I might just fill it up. So this is a highly unintuitive part of this tablet, but you need to go into flight performances, mass and balance, fuel. We'll just get that fuel all the way up there, loaded to aircraft. We're now 5,000 pounds. I've forgotten to change that to kilos. So that's all in, and that's reading full on here. That's great. I like to do a couple of things in here. I'll just test what the head tracking is like with that on. Okay, now the H125 always starts with what I'm going to call a disadvantageous view here. So I much prefer to go back and a couple of steps of zoom out so I can see down below the panel. The other thing I like to do is just hide that there. That's generally always in the way. So that's much better. I've got a nice view there, and here are our wonderful passengers. Hello to all of you. I'm going to pretend that you're my stream viewers over there. That's looking pretty good. So I am going to step away from the computer for 5-10 seconds. Please excuse me. And that's better. All right, so the tiger moth, the gruesome foursome? What are you talking about there? What are you talking about there? Okay, now finally got my Navigraph plugin working properly. That's great. There we are down here. So this will give us a potentially slightly nicer view than the built-in tablet. So I've got a couple of options there. Oh, we're going to be flying over Paradise today. How about that? Lake Sylvan, yes, and there's the root burn there. Oh, I've just forgotten the name of that lake. I'll look that up on our way. Okay, I think it's time to get this show on the road. Don't close the Navigraph plugin once it's working. You must minimize it, otherwise it starts in the wrong place each time. Inconvenient. Okay, field elevation 1200, great. Now, let's get some lights on here. We want our anti-collision lights on. We want our landing lights on. I've got that on a switch on the tablet down here. On the tablet, there we go. So that's the landing lights. That's the taxi lights, which don't appear to be working. Okay, landing lights are on. That looks good. Oh, how many times can I say that H125 looks so great in one stream? Alright, time to get ourselves up to speed here. So, will this switch work? No. But that one will. Get ourselves up into flight. Keeping an eye on our rotor RPM here. Jace, you're saying you've got problems with seemingly a delay on the Xbox. What sort of controller are you using on the Xbox there for your pedals? So you're pushing right, but you're still moving left. Pitot heat is on. Fuel pump we don't need because we've started up. Or do we need the fuel pump for takeoff on the H125? I've just forgotten. We'll be fine. I'm not exactly following real-world procedures today, but I'll put them in there when I can. Okay, so we've got our rotor RPM has been achieved. All our lights are on. That's great. No problems here on the instrumentation. So let's do a hover taxi down to the other end of the field. So I'll just zoom in here for you so you know what I'm doing. By going into the flight planner. Right. Maybe I should have done this in Navigraph. Why aren't I doing this in Navigraph? Okay. Because it looks like that. So, look, we are at the northern end. We'll just taxi down to the southern end there so that we can take off into the northwesterly breeze. Easy. So, Airbus H125. We need not that much right pedal with that big, powerful tail rotor. We do need a bit of right cyclic and a little bit of reverse cyclic. Sorry, I keep saying reverse. Aft cyclic. So you were saying it was Jace, wasn't it? You were saying that this is not quite as easy to take off as the... Oh, where's my head tracking? Oh, not quite as easy to take off as the RS66. It's a 2-stage pickup. So let us just get up onto the... As I raise the collective now... Get up onto the right-hand skid. Raising the collective, still coming up. Here it comes. Whoa, sliding along there a bit. Alright, that was not a great pickup because we slid backwards. The idea was that it was supposed to come back up on the the back of the right-hand skid, and then we could cyclic forward from there to get back into level flight, but it just slid along the grass is my reading of that. I do get some strange effects from the 2024 ground or flight model, ground handling model, is that what I'm trying to say here? Just keeping that padlock there, that aircraft there, so I don't crash into it. I don't have any traffic or anything switched on today. One of these days I'll do one of these on VATSIM, but we'll do a perfunctory check out the window up there. I think we're fine. And I think we're fine down here as well. Good. Let's just get down the other end of the runway. I don't need to go directly right down the middle of the runway, I suppose. There is a... in a bit of a... like a bad streamer, I neglected to check if I had my Glenorchy scenery loaded in 2024. Evidently I do not. Anyway, let's go to the other end of this grass runway. Very gentle wind indeed. That's right on my tail now. Follow my own advice and get the hand on the base of the stick so that there's less weight going into the cyclic. Losing a bit of power there. Come on. There you go. A bit more cyclic. Collective, sorry. Yeah, I'd say, look, if any of you saw my video on cyclic sensitivity, you'll know I've been giving that quite a bit of thought recently, but I think the weakest part of my setup actually is the collective controller. That old CH Products Pro throttle, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just for my purposes, it's got a very short throw. And, you know, a millimetre here or there gets me into all sorts of strife when I'm trying to maintain nice, steady, you know, collective control inputs at moments like this. Oh, look at that view. I'm going to settle down here and we'll just do a bit more housekeeping. Now, let's see if I can get back on that right rear skid. Bit hard there. Okay, what are you saying to me? Oh, that's a good question. Is the input viewer visible in VR? I don't know that I have seen anyone using that in VR. I don't know that I wouldn't want to do a video without, you know, for YouTube without the input viewer, because I think I learned a lot from it when I was learning helicopter simming. And, you know, massive shout out to Nerdy Heli Simmer. I really loved your videos. And you're not doing too much these days, but I'd love to see more of what you're up to, because I learned a lot from you. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do a video without the input viewer, because I just think it's a really useful teaching aid. But that's a really interesting question. I've got no idea if that works in VR or not. Great question. And Jace, for your Xbox pedals here, you say you're using the Thrustmaster Airbus TCA Captain's Pack with TPR rudder pedal. Right, and that's laggy going into the Xbox. That's interesting. I would... Okay, what would I do? What would I advise? I think I would... Look, you must know this. It's not inverted, is it? I mean, you were talking how you were pushing right, but it was still going left. You don't have the rudder inverted, do you? I mean, you would have checked that. I would be checking for any kind of Do you know what? I think I've got it, actually. Well, I know what I would check, just having a bit more of a think about your setup. I would think about the phantom outputs coming out of the TCA Z-axis, the twist controller on the stick. Now, they are notoriously dirty, those potentiometers inside the Z-axis in those sticks, and they can put out phantom flickering outputs. I would be checking that. I would just be turning that off. And one way of turning that off is to go up into your controllers, and you would do something like this. I'll just sort of fake it here on my... Yeah, so there's my Z-axis. I don't use that Z-axis, as you can see on my helicopter, but it's not doing anything on the input viewer. But on my TCA, I would just basically turn that off by doing that, by taking the extremity of dead zone all the way and eliminating that as a potential input. I mean, it might be that you've already made sure that that's not feeding anything in your control settings, but yeah, I think I'd have a bit of a check of that, Jace. Yeah, and see what you think. Okay, I think it's time to do some flying. So that's Mount Alfred right in front of us, and that's got to be, yes, that's Mount Earnslaw up there, which is where we're going. We're going up into a spectacular Alpine valley up there. So let us get onto our right skid, and let's see if I can do a better pickup this time. Last time it slid too far backwards, so I won't use so much aft cyclic this time. Let's see how this goes. See if we can achieve a better pickup this time. Get my hand in the right place, that's better. Okay. Up on, no, now we're sliding that way. I wonder if on grass it's got a different handling model, because it just slides right off here. Anyway, we haven't translated too much. It's just that it went left when I thought I was going to be lifting. Oh. I mean, last time I had too much aft cyclic, and that time I had not enough. So anyway. Let's get moving. Let's get moving. One of these days I'll get it just right. Okay, down we go. More power. Now we're moving. Everything's in the green. Floating aircraft, love that. 80 knots, great. Oh, look at that. I never get tired of looking at this scenery. Gosh, it must be spectacular in VR. Look at it. Just look at it. You don't look very impressed, do you? Oh yeah, you are going to have a look. Okay. So we're about 600 feet above ground level. That's good. And that river mouth there, it's a braided river. I don't know that MSFS 2024 renders it that beautifully. Right in front of me there. I'm going to have a bit more of a look. Here's the town of Glenorchy. As usual, it's overgrown by trees. Now, I am thinking of getting Bijan Habashi's Seasons add-on for MSFS 2024. Now, look through there, under the wiper, there's a little pier or jetty or wharf or something. I've been there. That's where there's a very famous boat shed there with Glenorchy, the town's name on it. Lots of people go and have their photo taken there. There's another outlet of another river. Very quaint town, not overdeveloped at all, and I'm sure people want to keep it that way. I've lost all speed because I'm just enjoying the scenery too much as usual. It's at the car park for the... Yeah, I think there's some boating activities and stuff. That sort of the jetty's submerged and overgrown by trees anyway. But yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world there. And yeah, there's the Glenorchy Lagoon just off to my 1 o'clock at the moment. Good for bird watching. Yes, one of my friends who lives in Glenorchy sent me some news about New Zealand fern birds being spotted there. So I was a bit jealous about that because last time I went to visit I didn't get my fern birds. But this is a helicopter channel, not a birding channel, so I won't talk about birds. Okay, so what are we doing? We've got Mount Alfred up front there. I'm going nice and slow because I'm enjoying the scenery, but I'll just pick this pace up a bit, so a bit more forward cyclic. lifting the collective a bit more. We're at 80 knots. Going to start using the trim now. On the H125 we need to use quick trim and not force trim, although it works the same way. I'm going to do that now. Hold down the quick trim button, move the stick to the back to the center, and the trim takes over that position there. Beautiful. That's what we want. Yeah, Jace, let us know how you go with those settings. Interesting problem. I'm very suspicious about your TCA stick, actually, because my one, I had to, like I demonstrated to you, I just had to turn it off. It's that annoying. Landing light goes off. "100 knots, and that's good. That's Mount Alfred. So Mount Alfred, notice how it's surrounded by the flat river kind of country. So that's been carved out by glaciers over the millennia. So it's flat on that side, and then Mount Alfred's just sticking up there. It's been carved away by these, well, the two rivers there now, but glacier action over the millennia have just carved out that mountain. Beautiful stuff. And I have stayed on that slope there to my lower right once, looking back over to Mount Alfred. Hello. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Alright, let's get this moving along. I'm still only about 1,200 feet above ground level, so how am I doing for trim here? A bit more on the left. That's better. Still had a bit of right pedal in there. I'm going to need to start climbing now. We are going right into that Alpine valley dead ahead. We're going right into that place. It's going to be stunning. Yeah, and thanks people for joining the stream. Lovely to see a few people here. I guess I'm still in a phase where I'm trying to figure out if me doing streams is useful to people. I'm all about utility. I really love doing the tutorials and helping people out with their flight sim skills, helicopter skills, sit-ups and all that kind of stuff. Fabulous. So, I like talking to people live. So, if you like talking to me, you are welcome to talk. Couple of when I'm looking off to the right here, it's because I'm looking at the chat screen. Theo, yes, you're trying to improve your skills as well. Fantastic. So am I. We're all students, I think, is a great attitude to have. No one here knows everything, least of all me. God. But Theo, I'm so glad that the channel's been helping you develop your skills. It's been helping me develop my skills, because I mean, I need to be on top of my game to help give you useful tips. So pleased that you're enjoying the videos. Thank you for that. And Jace, yeah, thank you so much. I enjoy the fact that you enjoy the content. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. So we've already climbed 3,000 feet, nearly. The H125, you'd hardly know it. It's such a powerful machine. Oh, I love this machine so much. It's so good. So good. As we proceed up here, you can hike up here. I think it's pretty arduous climbing up that valley to go to the spot that we're going to go to up here, the Earnslaw Burn, a filming location in Lord of the Rings. Northland, yes, I am on Sim Update 1 Beta, which has been pretty smooth running. Like, I've not had anything not work, really. I mean, there's just ongoing quirks in MSFS 2024, but heli simmers are better off in this edition, I would have thought, than the live version. Look, I guess airliner simmers, people who are doing, I don't know, A320 runs every day, would rather not go into an experimental branch. I would imagine they want everything to work properly. Look, a couple of weird diagonal stripes there. I think that's probably something in the elevation model. It looks a bit odd. But as I was saying, yeah, for heli simmers, no reason not to be in the Sim Update 1 beta. And even if it doesn't work for you, you can always opt out again. The only cost would be it would need to download the 800 megabyte XE again, or it's probably not strictly an XE, but you know what I mean. You'd need to download the mainstream version again. I'm on Steam, and it just does everything for me. So I just say that I want the beta, and it just does it, and it downloads 800 megs. I think it dumps the cache, so anything cached will need to load again. So, you know, all my helicopters are a bit slow to load up again after I got onto the beta. But other than that, it was all good. How about the scenery? Come on. Thanks, Tiger Moth. You take care of yourself. Thanks for joining us. Theo, have I tried the Hype helicopters? Yes, I have. In fact, might need to concentrate here for a minute just to get up our approach. Now, how far up do I need to go here? All right, we need to just be doing a bit of work here. Start getting that trim back in. Yes, there's our landing zone there. I've come in a bit fast, so let's try to fix all of this now. We'll be coming back very fast on the speed now. I was too busy having a nice chat and not paying attention. That's the spot I want down there. Try a high angle in here. I have to be very careful of the power here, not to get into a bad situation. We're already descending at 1,000 feet, so starting to add power now. Can't really see what I'm doing, which is not great. There's the wind rush that indicates that we might be settling with power. I've still got too much trim in. Let's start to fix that. I'm using the chin window there, you see. So, and there's the wind rush again. I'm going to just go around this way. I have done a landing in here as a passenger. A very happy passenger on a very expensive experience, but a highly worthwhile one. Right, now there we go. That's where we want to go, down there. I came in much too fast and much too high because I was too busy chatting. So let's get down there where the chin window's looking there. Now, this is a great example of alpine flying. We've got no horizon reference. Your instruments become of vital importance here. So I'm watching the VSI, the vertical speed. I'm watching the artificial horizon as I'm just nudging down beside the river down here to settle down inside the Earnslaw Burn, so I'm going to get out and enjoy the scenery. That's going to be fun. Alright, now what do we like here? We're looking pretty good. So the artificial horizon is good. Adding power. Cancel out that translation there. That's looking good. Here's our overemphasized dust as we just settle down now. Yeah, that was a little bit tentative and nervous, but there we go. Come down on the collective all the way. Still too much dust really, so let's get back into idle and see if that clears that up. Yes, so Theo, yeah, we were talking about the Hype helicopters, and yeah, Northland, the HPG, the H145 is your favourite. Oh, the Action Pack add-on. Yes, yeah, I gave that a go too. Enjoyed that. So something has happened to me, and that is that I found that the Hype helicopters were really great to get into helicopter flight simming. They were a great entry point, but then once I discovered more sort of hands-on flying without the automatic flight controls or the stability controls, I actually really started to enjoy this style of flying more. And I think with the Hype helicopters, And look, I'm not meaning to criticise here or anything, but I just wonder if they have painted themselves into a little bit of a corner with trying to get all the stability systems working for all the different potential types of setups that people might be bringing. Like, everyone's got different types of sticks and controllers, and you got to get that stability augmentation working for every possible iteration, and it just looks like hard work. It looks like hard work to cater for everyone's needs there. So I don't know. I'm not someone to speculate about it. We should ask the hype people that. Okay, we are at idle. I'm getting out. Yes. Pity about this dust. That's a bit unrealistic. Now we can look around. So in real life, what you do is you look up here and marvel at all the waterfalls running down up here. So you can see some sort of streaks there. In real life, those are waterfalls. There's 20, 15, I don't know. There's lots of waterfalls. And there's some big ones down here as well, which are just not simulated here, so we'll just have to deal with that. Is my helicopter all right? That dust is just ridiculous. I've got it on flight idle. They could just turn that dust effect off, please. At flight idle, come on. So that needs to be sorted out at some point. But look at this location. How spectacular is that? How spectacular is that? I think that's amazing. I just think it's amazing coming up here. This really was... what? Every time I look away from the helicopter, it moves. This reminds me of the Outer Wilds game, where there was all these quantum things that moved around when you weren't looking at them. How funny. Oh, Northland, yeah, you're still trying to figure out what the stability controls even do in the hype machines. Yeah. Well, I think they're on by default, aren't they? So, I mean, those machines are designed to be flown in real life, are designed to be flown with the stability options all on. Too much dust. Oh, nice array of shoes there. Yellow, black and red. Love it. All right. Let's start consulting with this again. I'll need that to reload some information, please. There we go. That's better. Oh, I've gone far too far off course there. Right. Plan our next part of the trip. So Northland, when you're flying those hype helicopters, are you just toggling off the what's it called now, like the trim release? Have you got trim release on the entire time? So you're not actually, what's the word? You're not actually trusting the helicopter. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the right way is to phrase that. Yes, you can turn off, Theo, you can turn off all the stabilization controls. Yes. Yes. I think the way I had it was that I had... Oh, I can't quite remember now, but I think I had like a continuous press on the trim release button, held off the trim release for as long as that finger was on the button. Sorry, I didn't phrase that very well. And like a short click just toggled off the trim release. So the trim release effectively just disables the stabilization features in the H145 from memory. I haven't touched it for ages, actually, not since 2024 launched anyway. So I think what you might do in real life is, once you've got the helicopter all stable and the SAS and everything is working, you might want to repoint it somewhere. So you might hold down the trim release and then use the cyclic to point in the direction that you want to go, or the attitude that you want. Then release the trim release, take your finger off that button, and then the stabilization systems will hold that attitude for you. And that's even if you're not using all of the autopilot features. That's how it's supposed to work, I believe. Not that I've ever flown an H145. I have been in the BK117, and I have been in the BK117 at the very spot that we are sitting on right now. So the BK117 is the the earlier version of the H145. Yeah, and we came here, and I walked over here somewhere. I think I went up onto that hill. I don't think there's quite as many trees as this up here. I think it's a bit more alpine and low. Yes, I was looking for a South Island wren. More birding talk. Alright. So, I think time to get moving on with our trip. What are your comments here? Never been able to get the SAS to work, Northland. Yeah, I hold it and try and return my stick to neutral, but it goes all wacko on me. What a completely accurate and descriptive technical term. Yeah. I hold it and try to return my stick to neutral, but it goes all wacko on me. Yeah, I know what you... I know exactly what you mean. I thought that what you were supposed to do is... oh, hang on. Oh, are you using a sprung stick, Northland? Are you? Is that what's happening there? Now, what am I doing? I'm going to... make up my mind which map I want. Okay, so we'll proceed south out of the valley. So instead of going south back down the Glenorchy where we came from, we'll take a right, fly over Paradise, Lake Sylvan, and we'll have a look at that lake there, which I can not quite remember the name of. So I might have to Google Maps that, unless someone wants to help me out and tell me what the lake is next to Conical Hill. The lake in between Conical Hill and Ocean Peak in Fiordland, because I'm a bad YouTuber. Yeah, so Northland, you've got a sprung stick. Okay, you're right. Yes, you might need to... Okay, I can't talk to that, but the way I did it was I would just point the stick where I wanted it to with the trim release down, release the trim release, and leave it all there, and it was perfect. But you with your sprung stick, it's a different case. So I've never tried that. I mean, I do have a TCA with its crappy Z-axis that is dirty and sends stuff into the sim that I don't want it to. Right, back up to flight. And we'll go and land at this lake that I can't remember the name of. Why don't I just look it up while we're coming back up to here? So, Ocean Peak, New Zealand. So that's not there. What am I looking at? Okay, I'm going right here. So it's up here. So the lake is Lake Harris beside Conical Hill. Lake Harris. All right, success. I have discovered a fact, or re-established it. Right, we are good to go. We've burned hardly any fuel, despite me just gas bagging the whole time. Right, so right pedal a little bit, and right cyclic. So what happened last time? I needed more right cyclic. We're kind of into the wind here. So anyway, let's just get the collective up and see what it's like. Will we go backwards? I want to up on one skid, and then, in fact, I'll put it back in the forward aft neutral, and then we'll get up on one skid, then pull it back. Who was it? It was Jace, wasn't it? Who wanted to know about this? Right, we're going up on one skid. That's what we want. Now we go back, and then we do a fluid motion up with forward cyclic and collective at the same time. I'm going backwards! Bad Matthew. Alright, well, okay. Not the best pickup, but anyway. There's an inadequate demonstration for you. You're welcome. Alright, let's get over these trees. Let's translate to the right, so we don't get in risk of getting close to those. This is the view that would have been nice to come in if I hadn't been chatting about the hype helicopters and paying attention to what we were supposed to be doing. Should have been much lower on that approach. Oh, this is great. More power. First bit of trim in. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, this Alpine scenery. I cannot stop going on about it. So, I don't think a great risk of any weird downdrafts or updrafts today. There's only 3 knots of wind in. I could increase it for a bit more of a challenge. Let's get over to Lake Harris and see what you think, team, and tell me what you want me to do with the weather. We might just bring the cloud down a tiny bit lower, just to give us a bit more of a challenge around some of the peaks. And we'll go and have a look at that glacier. That's after Lake Harris. Oh, I love this. Now, what I'm doing here is following the valley and not getting altitude. So that, again, is a bit of a alpine flying phenomenon. I wasn't paying adequate attention to the VSI or the artificial horizon. So I'm going to just retrim that. Northland, you're using a 20-year-old Cytec ST290 stick. Ancient, but it works. How great. Well, we're all about it. So, you know, after my video yesterday about the sensitivity settings, where everyone got to have a look at my very old Microsoft Sidewinder Force Feedback 2, which might be 25 years old. 25 years old, and it's still just working just fine. I'm amazed the buttons haven't broken. Alright, we're just about... Oh, I didn't note my elevation when we landed. That was a bit poor. How much have we climbed? Maybe not much, because I was not doing a good job on the flying. There'd be a small risk of a downdraft here because of the winds coming from, well, that direction. But we've only got 3 knots in, so we're okay. Flying that close to the ridge might not be a good idea in real life. So there's Lake Alfred again, and when I look back over there, Lake Wakatipu and Glenorchy, where we took off from. So that's down there to the south, or southwest, I guess. How am I doing for trim? Not too bad. Let's get into the valley that we need to get into. There's Lake Sylvan coming into view now, the little one at the foot of those hills, and we go into the root burn. If I've selected the right one here, I'll just have a check on the map, make sure I haven't made a silly mistake. Just get everything nice and stable before I start doing that. So the stick is centralized. We're in good trim here. That's pretty good. Yeah, so Northland, that's all been default scenery so far. When we get into Milford, we're going to get some of the Milford region scenery that is developed by NZA and is sold through Orbex. So it'll be interesting to see how we go with that. Oh, there's a setting I might need to turn off to stop hot air balloons from spawning at all the airfields. Slightly ridiculous. Now, am I flying into the Creek Valley here? I believe I am. Yep, so that's Paradise that we're over now. Let's have a quick external view look at Paradise. In fact, maybe I'll do it with with this camera and with my... Yes, that's Paradise, so we are told. It's not bad, I've got to say. Oh, that braided river, stunning. Stunning! Lake Sylvan down there. Okay, back inside. It's very hard to fly like that. Now, yes, so let's just consult this again. So, Conical Hill is 5,000 feet, and we are at 6,000. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I thought we had to climb a bit higher than that. So, oh, and I've just oh, I knew that was going to happen. Blast. It's going to... Navigraph Charts plugin is going to now put me in somewhere that I don't want to be. Alright, I need to be more careful about that. Minimize, not close. Right. 6,000. Alright, so... I was going to say, just at this minute, I don't have a good feeling for... I don't have a bad feeling. I don't have an adequate sense of where the lake is. I think it's through there, so I think I follow the valley along here. I'm guessing I don't need to get much higher than 7,000 as I do this. Oh, this Alpine aviation. Just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome people who have just joined the stream. Great to have you here. Thanks people for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. I've only really been doing it for a couple of months. And it's been super rewarding, the things that people have got out of it. I'm really glad that people are enjoying it and getting great value out of all the tips and tricks and tutorials and things that we've been trying out in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which I am really enjoying. Right, there's Lake Harris, isn't it? So there's a bit of a, I don't know, what do you call that, like a saddle valley or something? Pretty sure it's a saddle. I don't know all the Alpine terms. What's the difference between a ridge and a saddle? I suppose a saddle has to go up on either side. Okay, there's Lake Harris. Perfect. So I have not wrecked the navigation today, so far. Right, good. So notice that there's another huge valley behind these closer mountains here. That's where the Hollyford is. That's the Hollyford Valley, is that what they call it? That's where the Hollyford River goes and the Hollyford Track. So get up to Lake Harris here. I'm going to make this a better approach than the last one. We're losing a lot of height right now. I'm starting to nibble back in the cyclic trim using my hat switch. You'll see the X coming down in the input viewer. And we'll have a little look at Lake Harris here and see if we can stop by the lake and get a photo. A group photo. With that annoying dust flying everywhere. So, I know I'm flying right at the ridgeline there at the moment, but I will fix that soon. So, there's Lake Harris. Is there a nice shore that we could pop down on? I'm thinking maybe at the southern end, which means I'll have to do an orbit to get down there. It looks like there's some flat, tussocky, grassy stuff there. What about at the northern end? It looks a bit more confined in there. It makes me slightly more nervous. So I'm going to go over this and I'm going to do kind of a 180. Bring in some more trim. We are at 80 knots. That's good. Oh, that looks pretty down there, doesn't it? I just don't know if the... Oh, wow, look. Is there a landing spot where that creek's coming out? Or is it going to be wet? Let's have a look. Oh, this is exciting. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm talking about down there. Is that going to be suitable to put the helicopter down on? I mean, look, let's just be realistic. I'm going to do it anyway, so... Okay. Bringing the power back in now. 1,000 feet on the VSI. I like to approach like this, kind of look out diagonally, so I get a good view. The head tracking helps with that. Now, where's the flattest part here? There's a couple of rocks there. I feel like Neil Armstrong landing on the moon at the moment. Oh, what about that just there? So, can I swing that around and not hit the tail boom? Or is that wet? No, that's not. That's dry. So, we'll need to do a pedal turn when we lift, I think. Yeah. Oh, I like this. This is very pretty. Yes. Get this around here. Okay, well that negates the need to do it on liftoff. Oh, I want to go onto Google now and have a look at what Lake Harris looks like in real life. Alright, down we go. Stable hover. Last bit of collective down. Oh, not bad. I was pretty happy with that. Nice touchdown. And collective all the way down. And to idle, please. Whew. And breathe. You can do it, says Northland. Thank you for the encouragement. Now, what's this? Oh, this dust situation is a bit better here. I'll just... Oh, that's nicer. That's nicer. I'm going to get out for a little walk again by getting back in here. Shift C. Right, here we go. Cool. Go up there. Is the weather in the area generally pretty good? In a word, no. I think the weather can be extremely treacherous, and pilots... Oh, come on, that doesn't look too bad. I need something nice in the foreground for that to be a nice photo. So people fly into Milford Sound, which will be our next stop, by the way, and sometimes they can't get out. So it might be good for a landing, but it might not be so good for a takeoff. What's a nice angle for a photo here, people? Oh yeah, and I can see it coming now, I think. Yes, 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 yes. Back down here, as it turns out, might have been nicer. So the weather is treacherous. It's very important to respect the weather conditions and to... Oh yeah, here we go. This is nice. This is nice. There we go. We've got a nice framing now, and get a little bit more of the... Right, so what is it? Shift V, isn't it? For... Yes, there we go. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Yeah. And what about the height? No. Whoa. Translation's a bit too fast. How do I... Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't need those ferns right in the foreground, do we? I find this stuff kind of fun. Why not include this in your flight simulator? I mean, this is what Neumann seems to be really into, doing this kind of stuff. Take photo. That's cute. I just want to... How do I reduce the speed of translation? Because that's a little bit too... Okay, that's nicer. Aww. Lovely H125 in a spectacular Alpine location. Love it. Get back inside. Northland, I am not on live weather today because it's really rainy. And I looked at that and I thought, that's just not going to be pleasant. Shall we put it on? Let's put it on just for a second and see what it's like. So, let's see what this is like. Live weather. It hasn't loaded in yet. It's all blue sky, but I just think it's because it hasn't loaded in. So, we'll give that... There it is. Now, very silly. It's also put in snow. That wouldn't be realistic in the middle of summer down here. So this is a seasons issue that Bijan Hibashi has addressed in the add-on that he's made. So it'd be nicer if Microsoft and Asobo sorted it out themselves, really. But that has not happened yet. So anyway, I am going to go off live weather, I'm sorry to say. And we'll just set up something maybe a little bit more challenging. We'll go, what about broken clouds? What about scattered clouds? Scattered clouds, but I'm going to bring the base down a bit lower. Oh, I'm in meters. That's silly. So I'll, maybe 2,000 there. We'll make these a bit more dense, a bit more coverage. So I think we're a little bit more likely to... Oh, was I on the right one there? Density. Scattered, yeah. So we're going to be in slightly increased risk of getting into cloud now, with that down at 1,800 meters, 1,600. Okay, good. And yes, all right. So that's fine. We'll just go with those off. I'll just increase the winds slightly. Let's go up to, I don't know, 7 knots, just to don't make it too ridiculous. Good. All right, Lake Harris. This has been nice. Okay, Jace. Your tail rotor axis is 2 on my setup. You're talking about our sensitivity settings that we're talking about. So that's with the extremity dead zone. Do you know if the adjustment you recommend will affect the pedals axis? Are they the same as the tail rotor axis? Should be. I mean, you would know that if you looked in your controls. If you looked at your rudder, so what am I doing? Hardware settings. You need the Z axis for this one. So I don't know why it thinks there's an X and a Y axis. There is not. The pedals only have one axis. So yeah. So as you can see, I've got it linear. And so, to be honest with you, I don't know that. Oh no. Why? Really? Have I not got a rudder? All hardware settings. Huh. Okay. Wonder why it's prompting me to save a new profile. I wouldn't think that you'd want to miss. I'm a bit puzzled as to why it's asking me that. A bit puzzled as to why you would want to. Oh, the joystick twist axis. Oh, sorry. Was this to do with your with screening out your TCA from getting into the other one? Yes. So what I would do is go into your stick. In this case, it's my Sidewinder. Hardware settings. So the Z axis, yeah, on your stick, just turn it off by doing this, and then there can be no input. I'll just test that. Go all the way over here. Yeah, then it doesn't do anything then anymore. You see, I still twist it, but it's not having any input into the simulator. So if you want to disable the Z axis on your stick so that you reduce the possibility of flickering, messing up your tail rotor performance, yeah, just get that all the way down to -1 and see if that works. You would know, I think, because you would see this flickering around, which is chronic on the TCA. It's a notoriously unpopular design for that reason. I mean, the stick's popular, but people find that it's just irritating because of this phenomenon. Northland, the circle never moves on from any of my controls when adjusting them. That's sort of strange. Yes, because you're in the live version. You're not in Sim Update 1 beta. So you'll be getting that live when that goes live. So in the next couple of weeks. If you're not prepared to go to the beta, you will find that you get this functionality with the circle moving around when Sim Update 1 goes live. That was a new thing that's coming. Okay, hello people who have just joined the stream. Lovely to have you. We're doing some spectacular Alpine flying. And why don't I get on with it now? Have I messed up my controls? Is everything still working? There are my pedals. There's my stick. There's my collective. Right. So, let's get back up to... Whoops. Emergency cargo release. Let's get back up to flight. And let's look at our next part of the journey. And I can never make up my mind which map I want. So, right, this time we will... Oh, what's the name of this glacier? I need to know the name of this glacier. Korako Glacier. Yeah, okay. So that is here, the glacier. So we'll have a look at that as we go over to Don, or is it Donny or Dun? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. We go over that saddle. There, and then it drops away spectacularly, and we are in Milford Sound. It's right there. It's close. So now the approach. This is a standard approach into Milford, a standard VFR approach. This is the controlled airspace only starts at 9,500, so we're in uncontrolled airspace here. So yeah, Don. So we'll be very high here. We'll be at 5,000 or 6,000 feet, and we can't just get down to 0 feet in that amount of space. So the procedure is this: Don or Donny, I don't know, and you proceed north up spectacular Milford Sound. Get ready for some amazing scenery, people. And they've even modelled the waterfalls and stuff. NZA, those good people. Yeah, we'll go up to about to the line, or this point, whose name I've forgotten, and we will come back. We'll be losing altitude here the whole time, and then coming back into land on runway 11 from the north there. Oh, let's go! I'm excited. So we are facing west, so I just need to cross right over here. It'll drop way below us. We don't need to be losing height. I need to just correctly enter that valley there. I think we'll be able to see this mountain. We might even see the glacier as soon as we get airborne, really, or as soon as we get over this next bit of hill. Right, let's go. Right, okay, so, good. So, here's our right pedal. reset that trim. Now, what happened last time? Let's get up on the right-hand skid again, see if I can get one decent pickup on the stream. Bit light on the ground. So, one skid. Back. Oh, no, that was terrible. It just slid along the grass again. Maybe the grass doesn't offer any purchase, so this doesn't work, that method. Maybe that method only works in 2024 on asphalt and concrete. Interesting. Interesting. So, well, we'll be at Milford Aerodrome next, so we'll have the other permutation of this particular calculation that I can't figure out. Now, what's that? Is that a cabin or a shelter on the route burn track? I suspect it is. Hundreds of thousands of walkers would have been in that one over the years. Oh, look at it! The Holyford River, Holyford Valley, I'm not quite sure. But, yeah. Oh, now we were talking about the weather before. Someone asked, is the weather okay? It's not. So okay, straight ahead is Milford, right? But we'll go over that Don Saddle. If that is clouded in, and it's fine right now, I did invite the cloud to come a bit low, it's not blocking us here, then what you would do as a pilot is you would proceed north up the Holyford there, and you can actually see the sea out there. It's a bit grey, but you can see the sea right out on the horizon out there. So you would go out to the sea and then back into Milford Sound that way. That means you can approach with your altitude lower and not getting into the clouds. So that's a real-life Milford Sound procedure, which I found by reading a book that is published online, not a book, a booklet. So yeah, there's one of the aviation authorities in New Zealand's published a book on things pilots need to know going into Milford. Quite a lot, as it turns out. Okay, whoops, we're losing height here. That's not what I want, so pay attention. So 0 VSI, please, and we'll be gaining speed. In fact, we'll want to climb a bit more here. And we'll see that Korako Glacier up here, I feel. And I'll just do a quick double check to make sure I'm going into the right valley, because that'll be done. Oh, I've turned off Navigraph again. Ugh, Matthew. Minimize, don't turn off. Be nice if it remembered the settings. Am I going into the right valley? I am. So minimize it, don't turn it off. Oh, God. Now it's at the glacier up there above us at our 1 o'clock. Lovely. 90 knots, 5,000 feet. We will need to climb more. Get our trim better there. Spectacular Alpine scenery, says Matthew for the 20th time in the stream. Holyford track. Oh, God, look at it. How great is that? Oh, so good. So good. There's a little airstrip down there and some hikers' huts and things like that. That's the glacier up there above us, I think. Oh yeah, and now what's this lake over here coming up on our left? Lake Adelaide? Right, okay. And the saddle then... Oh, is that the saddle there on my 2 o'clock or there at my 12 o'clock? Is there a point for Adelaide in here? Oh, it's the point at 2 o'clock, so I need to get over there. Okay, that's... Navigraph proves that. So that's the Don Saddle, or... God, I wish I knew how to say it properly. Getting a little bit of... did you notice that? A little bit of... drags, or... Yeah, don't know what that's about. There's that glacier over there. Beautiful. Okay, well, we're just about going to be seeing, I think, Milford Sound when we get over here. Oh, don't get sick of looking at it. Just don't. Okay, HSI. Good. Sorry, the artificial horizon. The VSI, we're climbing. Can't see the horizon, so I'm just paying attention to the instruments when I'm not chatting or looking around. 6,000 feet, going over the saddle. Oh, it's just magical. Magical. Another glacier up in front of us there. Which one's that? Don't know, it's not marked on Google Maps anyway. Wow, so we are at 6,250 feet and we will start descending into the valley now because we're going to need to lose a lot of height to get down to Milford. And hello to people who are joining the stream. Welcome. Hit me with your helicopter questions. Control, sensitivities, techniques, controllers. How old's your... Who's got the oldest controller out of... I think it might be down to a couple of us. We've got one 20-year-old Cytec stick and we've got one... I don't know. I think my force feedback's somewhere between 20 and 25 years old. Wow, it's mind-boggling. So was I using this with like FS 2000? Amazing. Just amazing. Milford! There it is. There's the airfield. We can see it down. Look how high we are. That's what I'm talking about with this special approach we need to make here. Let's turn into there. Oh, the sea. How stunning. I mean, it's only in one of the most spectacular parts of the whole planet, for God's sake, so... That's good. That's good. Oh, we're descending very fast, so let's just make that not quite so dramatic. So there's the field, and you can see we're going to approach from the other end. And you can see why they encourage that, because you don't have a lot of options. I think people are encouraged to go in and come out at the same end, so the other end. Otherwise, you've got all these hills and the escape routes aren't quite so good from this side. So I'm descending at 1,500 feet. We're at 3,000 feet. We are coming into some glorious scenery now, designed by the NZA people. And we're looking good. We are looking good. A little bit of haze around. Oh, those iconic reflections into the water there of the spectacular mountains. Oh, we've done very well here with our height management, I suggest. We got up to 140 knots there. Cool. Oh, here's our first animated waterfall. Yes. Yes! How good is that? Don't fly into the cliff, Matthew. Yeah, animated rivers and waterfalls. We'll get a better look on that one on the way back in, I think. And we're going up there later on, Lake Ada, and we'll go up to Quinton Lodge. And Lake Quill and Sutherland Falls. Well, 1,400 feet. We're sort of at a point where I could probably just turn around now and... Well, how far down are we? No, we'll go a little bit further. Get down to about 1,000. We'll stabilise there. So I'll just start bringing some trim back in. Got some boats on the Sound. That's nice. I think some cruise ships coming here. I don't know that the passengers get out because there might not be enough facilities in Milford to look after them. But yeah, cruise ships coming here and you're going to have a look at the spectacular scenery in real life. Oh. Nice. Yeah, there's like a marine observatory thing here. I've not actually been here in real life yet. That's still on my to-do list. Maybe next time, going back to New Zealand. Okay, yeah, so no one coming in or out there because I've turned off traffic, but we can do a little turn now. Keep an eye on the yaw vane there. It's looking pretty good. Nice coordinated turn. Don't look at the balance ball, that's always wrong. Landing light goes on. And the field is dead ahead. Look how dirty the windscreen is with all the bug splatter. Love it. There's a powerboat down there. Don't collide with... Oh, they're going to have a head-on collision if you look at that. Yes, straight through each other. Oh, there's that waterfall I was admiring before at our 11 o'clock. Beautiful. Let me just get a bit more on the runway track here. Sailboat down there on our lower right. Beautiful. Starting to get this trim out. Now, how good of an approach can I do here? .90 knots. I need to bring that down pretty smartly. Got most of the trim out now. Using the hand switch for that. Oh, the hot air balloons. Oh dear. So, yeah, I'll talk about that in a sec. Can't see what I'm doing, so I'll just do my diagonal here. That's better. Okay. So, not too bad. Let's go and find a parking spot. There's some helicopter bays over there. Actually, that could be more of a challenge. I might go and use one of them. It's more fun. Harder. Alright, so we stayed out of that yellow zone there. Good. Let's get onto one of these. There's that norwesterly wind. Alright, now how bad of a job can I do of this? Looks like it might be the right size for a R66 more than an H125, but a little bit further forward. Down we go. Down we go. Oh yeah, I just thrust it down there at the end. Oh, what's that? Oh, I see. Right, how do we do? Oh! Ah! Yes. Maybe I can fly a simulated helicopter. That's alright. Okay. Idle. Well, hello people joining the stream. Lovely to have you here. Give us your questions. Tell us what you're working on. Sweetness. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, that approach, was it? Just clunked it down a bit at the end. It's very hard when you can't see what's directly below you, but slowly getting better at that, I think. What are people learning in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 today? People who have not joined the text chat, you are invited, you are welcome. What a good place to go flying. It's pretty hard to top, actually. What am I going to do to, you know, do better than this? I feel like I'm going to do every stream in Alpine, New Zealand. Oh, look at that waterfall. Amazing. So if you've just joined, this is scenery from NZA. It's the Milford region scenery. And it's pretty beautiful. Very New Zealand vegetation there. Toi grass, I think. And flax, harakeke. and the gorgeous H125, and those ridiculous balloons. Yes, look, I don't know what they're going to do to sort this out. MSFS 2024 is putting them in there because it thinks that an airfield of this size needs balloons. I can't get rid of them by turning off the traffic, but then I lose the proper planes, like the Cessna Caravan over there. Sensible ones. Anyway, don't know. Let's deal with that for today. Alright, so what do we do next? We are going to go up the river here. Is that the Ada River? Or it's Lake Ada, isn't it? What's the river called? I need to know. It's the Arthur River, sorry. So we'll go up the Arthur River over Lake Ada. That's Dumpling. I think there's a couple of bridges in here, so we'll see if we can spot those. Suspension bridges. We have the Quinton Lodge airstrip here. That might be where we end the stream later on. And we have New Zealand's tallest waterfall here, the Sutherland Falls, and Lake Quill at the top. So I think that what we might do, instead of landing directly at Quinton Lodge, we will do a bit of an overflight and gain height, and we'll need to be up to about 6,000 to get up here. Mount Balloon, what a great name. Very appropriate for this field with this unrequested balloon, hot air balloons traffic. Yes, so we'll get up here. We'll need to be, 6,000 feet, I feel, to be safely traversing that. 6,000, trying to remember that, Matthew. And then we'll do, what will we do? We might go over the edge and admire Sutherland Falls and lose some height over here and devise some sort of approach into the Quinton Lodge airstrip there. I might need to approach from the north again just for the confined area. Right, so let's get that ready. Get the head tracking right. Okay, back up to flight, please. So, comments. Have I flown the Chinook in career mode yet? Okay, no I haven't. So you're saying you're having trouble with the Chinook in one particular mission. I haven't been doing a lot of career mode, only because whenever I try and do a rescue mission in the H125, the person you're supposed to rescue is on a 45-degree slope with trees, and I can't get the H125 in there. So that's not very helpful. So I'm a bit stalled in career mode. I should go back to it and just enjoy the sim instead of making all these videos. Yes, so I'll have a look at that. The comparison video. Look, the Blackbird Chinook is sort of big and floaty. It's pretty easy to fly. Way too powerful, I feel. Like you can just like pull the thrust lever and you just go into the sky. Oh, some birds just flying around in the scenery. So, no, I can't answer your question, but if anyone else in the stream has successfully achieved the Cook Inlet Chinook mission in career mode, let us know in the chat. Yeah, my comparison video, my longest ever video, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Everything you could ever want to know about Chinooks. And Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, let me tell you. So in all our travels today, we've used almost half a tank of fuel. I feel we're over halfway in our progress here, so I won't need to worry about refilling. Okay, so head tracking back on, and we are going to go out the same way we came in. So we will need to hover taxi over there and take off to the north, and then we'll need to do a bit of a turnaround. Oh, well, that is such a terrible habit. God, I've turned off I need to minimize it and not close it. Because it doesn't remember where you were the last time, and it takes a while to connect, and it's just a bit annoying. So, yes. Now it thinks I want IFR. I do not. VFR. So we will fly out here. Can I pull a quick left, or shall I do... yes, that's what I'll do. I'll climb up to like 1,000, and we'll overfly the airfield on our way out. So what would the call for that be on the radio if I were doing this in with VATSIM. I think it would be helicopter Tango Papa Echo, taxiing to runway 29er, taking off right-hand circuits, overflying the airfield, departure to the southwest. I think would be the call. Someone else can correct me if they think I didn't quite get that right. Okay, so let us do what I just said. What's happened here? My view has changed. I need to be a little bit low. I need to see under the glare shield there. Good. Okay, up we go. So, right now, we are on a solid surface now. So, what does that mean for our two-stage pickup that I have not successfully executed once on this flight? Right, we're on one skid. Perfect. Now, pull back. That's how you pick up the H125. So, either I was just doing a bad job, or the grass didn't support that technique. So, I don't know. The grass in 2024, that is. Trying to hold my position as I go around here. There's not too much wind, so nothing to be too frightened of there. Oh, let's do a little hover taxi to go down the end here. Is that a taxiway down there? I should have looked at the chart. Or is that parking? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'll just fly down the ditch. That's probably not very safe. Oh, it is a taxiway. Yes, I could have... a shed with a hot air balloon coming out of it. I love all these towers. I don't know if that's from 2024 or if that's from the custom scenery. I think that the towers, the auto-gen towers, are actually a really good addition to the simulator. Makes the world feel a bit more alive, keeps you concentrating on what you're doing. Okay, are there any plans coming in? Answer no, because I've turned them off. So, into the runway we go. And I'm not going to waste any time here, because all our meters are good. And we proceed down the runway with safety first. So if the engine cuts, I can do an auto rotation straight down there. Now, I don't actually know if auto rotations are really working properly in this Asobo H125. That's where we're going later on, but I don't want to just like pull a ridiculous turn there. We'll climb up to 1,000. Stay in the right-hand pattern as I advise traffic in my imaginary call that I did not make. Right, that was not a coordinated turn. Now, yes, I need left pedal. Well, less right pedal. Yes. Fly at the wall, that's a bit scary. But we can do it. Spectacular waterfall. We're at 1,000 feet. We're going to overfly the field and then go up the Arthur River on our way to Lake Ada. Perfect. Well, that was a plan that I think I made in good conscience. I guess I'd check over here to make sure there's no traffic coming in, like where I just came from. And then I even executed it in a way that was not a complete disaster. Well done, Matthew. You gotta take the wins. Alright, so let's get that trim in there. That looks nice. Don't have much power in and not accelerating very much yet. Landing light goes off. And what's on chat? Keep coming with your questions, people. Yeah, I still don't know how well live stream... I mean, I'm very delighted to be doing this and to be chatting with you and to have you here. I think on my first live stream, I think I might have topped out at like 12 viewers at a time or something. So we've broken that today. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, I've only been doing the channel for a couple of months. Well, and I've been on YouTube for a long time. But haven't, only started taking the channel seriously in the last couple of months. And it's going really well. I I don't quite know what people's expectations are of live streams. Like, what do you want to consume in a live stream for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? I mean, I like the Q&A aspect. I think this is fun, sort of doing a interesting scenery and having a chat at the same time, dealing with some potentially real-life issues as we go about our business here in the flight. So we're going to be following to the right. Oops. Yep, that's better. Yeah. I don't know how I do this without the head tracking. The head tracking is just fantastic. Love it. Poor man's virtual reality. But it does mean I can do the videos nicely as well. Spectacular. Oh, now is that Sutherland Falls right at the end of the valley over there at my 11 o'clock? New Zealand's tallest waterfall. Mountains here are starting to look a little bit smooth. I wonder if it would be nice to get a better digital elevation model here. It was interesting in the last developer stream hearing them talk about it. Was it Jorg who was saying that there's quite a process, or was it Seb? Quite a process in obtaining the data first, but then integrating it into the simulator. It's not just plug it in and away you go. And there's a lot of different data sources from a lot of different data sets. So, interesting. These mountains, I mean, they are kind of painted, I guess, with those that rocky texture, which is really effective in 2024. I think they've done a good job with that. But overall, they're just starting to look a bit smooth over here, more so than what they were in the earlier part of the flight. There's Sutherland Falls. Look at that. I think that's great. It looks like a fantasy role-playing game where you'd want to try and climb it. Okay, I'm at 3,500 feet. That's good. So I'm getting a few more drags in the graphics. I wonder if it's just because I've been flying for a while and it's all just building up a bit. Or maybe it's loading in some of the scenery. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, yeah, Northland, you're in Alaska. Fantastic. Yeah, well, I'm sure, yes, sure. I'm sure this would feel like home. Yeah. Maybe maybe you can give me some... Whoa, dear. Okay, now that was a bit of a piloting fail there. I just got myself a bit mixed up with the trim controls. Yeah, maybe you could give me some ideas for Alaska flights, and we can do something like that on a future stream. So there's Sutherland Falls, there's Lake Quill dead ahead. I suppose I could just fly directly in there from here. Oh, it's tempting. I was going to come in from this direction, though. Oh, now I don't know what to do. I can't make up my mind. Put my head out the window. So, no, let's stick to the original plan. and admire the waterfalls from here. Oh, it's stunning. And Lake Quill at the top. We're going to go and land on the shores of Lake Quill. It'll be fun. Now, what is this called? Is this McKinnon Ridge? I think there's a hut on here somewhere. And there's a helipad beside one of the shelters as well. I suppose where they can do airlifts of people when they need to. Little pool in there. I wonder what that is. Okay, let's follow this valley up. And then we'll be over looking into Lake Quill. Now, the hut must be below me there somewhere. I can't quite see it from this angle. There's a helipad there. I haven't tried that helipad because the helipad bug was still an active thing. Right, I have not left myself enough space here. So, no, we're not doing this. This is silly. Bad planning. We're going to go back to plan B, which was the go and have a look at Lake Quill. So we'll have to exit this valley by going all the way over here to the left. And then... yeah, poor planning. I thought I'd worked that out. Maybe I've just entered the incorrect valley here. I mean, on the other hand, maybe I'll just pull the collective. And just... yeah. Sorry, I forgot I'm in an H125. Here we go. This is what I was worried about. Just push the up button on the elevator. Still 60 knots forwards, that's good. Right, that little bit of ridgeline there is a bit lower. These hangs are getting a bit worse. Oh dear, I've just not left quite enough. Poor pilot planning there. I'm really... okay, we're still... I mean, we're only just touching the yellow in the H125, and we've got over the saddle there. I said 6,000 originally, but I was just getting too low. I was just enjoying the scenery too much. My usual issue. Okay, so there's Lake Quill down there, so that's how much we've climbed. So let's now start to lose that altitude that we just gained. Collective quite a long way down now. I'll start bringing in the collective cyclic trim. There's Lake Quill with a strange stripe running right down the middle of it because of the, what do you call it, the overlapping data. Lake Quill feeding Sutherland Falls, the tallest in New Zealand. You wouldn't want to... how nervous would you be about swimming at the far... I mean, the falls are just at the far end of the lake from where I am now. How nervous would you be swimming there? Oh, we are descending very fast there. Let's come over here a bit. Now, I found a little grassy patch in here yesterday where I took the photo for the stream, and let's see if I can find it again. Landing light goes on. This makes me feel like I'm real... oh, there's a strange boundary on the lake there where it actually goes downhill. That's not very good. Adding collective. Speed should be coming right back now. That was quite a power turn, that one. Right, is this our patch here? Can I use this one? I think so. Yes. Use the chin window. Right, now I've gone a bit too fast there, so I'll just be sensible and float it around over here. Watch the VSI. Okay. Not the most organised part of this flight, I've got to say. Oh, there are the same rocks that I put the helicopter into yesterday for the to make the photo for the stream. Cute. Right. Don't actually want to sit on the rocks. I think I'm fine, getting lots of graphical hangs now. Interesting. Yeah, not bad. A little bit fidgety as we're just getting down there, but how do we go? Have a little stop here, and then our final stop will be Quinton Lodge down the bottom of the falls. Yeah, is that realistic? It's a huge dip down there. Yes, every time I look back at it, it moves. Left the landing light on, good. Go and have a swim in Lake Quill. I imagine this lake would be very, very cold. Very cold. Unlike Alaska, I don't think this would ever freeze over. Or would it? I don't know that, actually. Does the Sutherland Falls stop in winter? No. Does it? I'm not sure about that now, actually. Lovely. Oh, what happened there? Yep, that's the top of the falls right there. Let's go and have a look. Yep, every time I look back at the helicopter it moves. So there's some part of the simulation that gets switched off when I'm not in it or at the controls. Okay. Head tracking. So this is pretty simple. We're at 3,500 now, 3,300. So all I need to do is there's the strip down there. So I'm going to attempt. I'm going to attempt. Well, we'll decide. We've got a small northerly coming in. I haven't actually studied the procedures for this strip. I think we will do a overhead approach, and then I'll decide if we do a left or a right turn. So a right turn would be more sensible for the wind. But I don't know how confined it is. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, the less confined approach would be along the river there. Or that way. I'll do the overhead, and it might just be that we turn left. So we'll go and have a think about that now. Alright, last leg. We are all ready to go here. What's the pickup going to be like? Get that trim out. That was a bit of a mess on the trim before, but okay, so right, and we're going to get up onto this right-hand skid. We're on the right-hand skid now. We pull back to get onto the back part of the skid. We increase. We move back a bit, but not too horrifically bad, I guess. Still working on that. Didn't slide along the grass, so that's good. Now, this is going to be something. You can do a full auto-rotate from the top of this fall down to Quinton Lodge, I reckon. Be a bit scary, but yeah. Get this power on. I'd like to just be able to maybe look down this waterfall. Yes, that's what I'll do. I can't resist. We'll do a hover at the top of New Zealand's tallest waterfall. So there's my chin window. Got that ready. Don't have the vertical reference window in this passenger model. Here it is. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Oh, I get the heebie-jeebies just looking at the edge of that. Alright, keep the helicopter level and look down there. Wow! That's cool. Come on. You've got... That's impressive. Just see if I can translate away a bit here. Maybe, what should I do? I'll try and bring it round. We're at 40 knots. Try and get it so that I can sit beside the fall. Should just watch the speed here. We're already probably a bit slow. Oh, I've actually gained quite a lot of height because I was busy looking down at the fall. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll nose down. We'll gain some height, but we'll lower the collective. These graphical hangs are getting worse, for sure. I don't know if it's just because I've just been going for a while and it hasn't emptied out something that needs to empty out. I'm not quite sure. Okay, we've lost quite a bit of height there. Let's start to bring that back in. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Don't want to fly right at that wall. How close dare I get? It's quite hard. It's a hovering problem, this one. cancel that there. Don't settle with power. Oh! Don't think this is particularly safe flying, but look at it! Look at it! That's brilliant. The NZA scenery for the Milford region. Love it. Love it. I think that's great. Whew. Alright. Normal flying resumes now. So we'll start to get rid of some of this altitude. Where are we at? We're at 3,300. The airstrip's down there. I think I can see it there with that green patch. It makes all the green. Okay, can we... Yeah, let's turn in here before we... Don't want to gain too much speed. Lower the collective. Alright, oh, we have lost a lot of height there, so I've again been a bit adventurous on the... Okay, right, we are not going to do an overhead there because that would be flying me right into the side of that hill. So, oh, there's the balloons again, for God's sake. It happens. Alright, so let's get around here, that's good. And we'll just do a 180 here. We're at 1,000. Wow, we've lost a lot of height there because I went way too fast. We'll be following the river along, the Arthur River. Downdraft risk here. But we've got the wind quite low. There's the field there. Give ourselves a bit more room. Last chance for questions, people. It's been fun. Thanks, Jace and Tiger Moth and Northland Air for your questions. It's been really great having you in the stream. Appreciate that. Alright, so let's do a coordinated turn, which means a little bit of left pedal. Okay, there's the field disappearing behind there. Whoa, lots of graphical hangs. Very interesting. I might even follow the shutdown checklist. There's the field. And the parking's at the other end. I think those hot air balloons are going to pop back in soon, I feel. There you go. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look what they've done with the creek and the river and the stones, and oh, that's lovely. There's no trim in, that's good. Well, only a little. An enjoyable afternoon for you, Northland. That's great. Thank you. Wow. Thank you for your support. You've been a generous person in the comments too, and I really appreciate that. Oh, now I'm going much too fast. So, surprise, people. Right. Now, how am I going to manage this? I'm not going to... Oh, honestly. Right. Oh, terrible hang. Just when I didn't want it. What the hell was that about? Okay. I don't know what that was. There was a hang and then... Aircraft system malfunction, landing gear malfunction. What? So I just broke the landing gear. There was a hang, and then when it came out of the hang, it was skyrocketing across the grass. So that was terrible. All right. So what is the shutdown procedure? We'll do it semi-properly. Well, I know we need to get that on there. We need to get that landing light off. In-flight, post-flight. Post-flight. Engine shutdown, sorry, I keep... Cyclic, center, collective, locked, we can't lock it. Twist grip, idle, check. Pitot, horn, landing light, all off. Pitot, horn, all off. Engine starting selector, off. And that just, well, now... Actually, I think the real procedure might be that you are supposed to let the engine run at idle for a minute here. I think it's about sort of clearing out the carbon in the turbine or something like that. Sorry, I don't quite know the mechanical explanation for that. So we'll just let that settle down there. And a new comment. El Butch, good day, Matt. Good to see you putting our Milford Convo into use. Convo. I'm guessing you mean the scenery. El Butch, are you part of the scenery team? And thanks for coming on the stream and commenting. Welcome. Okay, so with that running for a minute there, we... what am I doing? The... right, that's you. Thank you for explaining that. Yes, putting the Milford scenery to good use. Thanks for that. Yes, and good to see you again. Yeah, no, I mean, how could you not want to fly down here? I don't know what, I mean, how do you top it? I mean, what do I do next? I could go and I've got the, what is it, the Mount Cook region, or what's that one called? The NZA pack. Go and do another, do some flights up there, go and land on the snow or something, could be fun. Alright, so we've got the engine selector off, generator goes off, rotor brake, well we need this, I think we need the rotor speed to be under 100 before we do that. Does it say that here? Oh, 140. Okay, well we're almost there actually, 165. I'm looking forward to helicopters with a bit more systems fidelity and a bit more real life procedures required, a bit more adherence to real life procedures, engine stress, temperatures and so forth. Like a little bit more variability so that maybe sometimes things just get a bit hotter than you'd expect and you need to manage the process a bit more closely. So that's something I'm looking forward to in our 2024 helicopter. It's not quite there yet. We don't have any 2024 specifically developed machines yet, unless you count that Miltech Chinook. Okay, we're 135, we're below 140, so we can get that rotor brake on. Come on. Now, there's a trick here for the H125. You're supposed to not let it stop with a blade over the turbine outlet. So you need to stop it with, because it's three-bladed, you need to stop with one blade pointing forward, which means that they will not be over the turbine outlet. Almost. Almost. One more. Oh, it's already stopped. Okay, well, how badly did I do there? Well, it's not over the turbine outlet. That was supposed to be pointing forwards. Okay, we'll finish this. Finish this. Where was I? Rotor stopped. Anti-collision lights off. Accumulated test. I don't think does anything at all in this. As far as I know, battery off. All right. Huh? Was that off? Off. Where did you turn the avionics off? This does not look quite complete. Or was it in here? Yeah, avionics. Yes, there it was. Okay. Battery off. Oh, well, our flight's all over. How sad. I do not have a Discord yet, Northland. It's something, yeah, I don't know. Do you think I should do? It's actually a question that I've asked myself. Ought I start a Discord? Would you participate on a one-person Discord? Do people participate on one-person Discords? By one person, I mean, you know, one person running it. Like, I can kind of see why development teams have a Discord and encourage, you know, community support and sort of help threads and stuff in there. Is that useful for someone like me to offer it? I don't know. Oh yes, please. In terms of your, in terms of you giving me a route for Alaska, I would love that. I would love that. I have to do some research first, or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't do any research, and maybe I'll just wing it and see what happens. Heli Simmer's first experience of Alaska. What could go wrong? Okay, let's get out and open things up. Now, if I open that door, it will unfortunately get me back into the machine. Don't want that. Oh, look how dirty it is. I love it. I love it. All right, let's get them out. Get out! Can I open that from the outside? Why not? Oh, okay. But with them doing that, oh, you can get into the cargo door like that. Good. But then it closes when I walk away. Not sure I love that. Oh yeah, there's your cargo door, alright. That's where the pilot keeps his water bottles. Or hers, sorry. Yeah, Northern, I think Discord's doing great stuff for flight simulation. I just don't know whether me having a Discord helps the world or not. Does it help the world? Or are there already other outlets for it? I just never quite know. Maybe I should just do it anyway and just see what happens. Now, I've damaged the skid. Condition medium, no kidding, because of that weird hang we got just at the wrong moment. And then the helicopter was flying along in a direction I was not expecting. Condition bad. Oh dear. Yes, well, it wasn't my fault. Well, it was. Good stuff. All right, well, I think it is time to wrap this stream. You've been excellent. Thank you for the chats. Love people coming in and participating, watching. Oh, there's Sutherland Falls. I can still see the falls way up the top there. Beautiful. That's where we were. Imagine how ridiculous that would have looked from down here, looking at my helicopter struggling to hold position at the top there. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, yes, Northland, thank you very much. Yeah, love the idea of doing an Alaska run, and I will absolutely take your suggestions for that. See if we can get into something like a 2-hour stream. That sounds like a sort of a good length to explore a bit of territory and let a few people come into the chat and have a Q&A with me and with each other. Thanks very much. So very much appreciate your participation, and to everyone else who's been. Thanks heaps. Time to say bye-bye. Can't wait to get back up to the skies again, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.